In the quiet, shadowed corners of homes across Britain during the 1980s, a seemingly innocent painting hung on countless walls. The artwork depicted a young boy, his face etched with sorrow, a single tear rolling down his cheek. Little did these unsuspecting homeowners know that this image would soon become the center of one of the most chilling urban legends of the 20th century. The Crying Boy paintings, signed by Giovanni Bragolin, were the work of a mysterious Spanish artist named Bruno Amadio, who concealed his identity behind the Italian pseudonym. Amadio's Crying Boy collection, created between the 1950s and 1980, featured over 60 haunting portraits of tearful children. These prints became wildly popular, with over 50,000 copies sold in the UK alone. Despite the success, the paintings carried a dark reputation. The images, filled with despair and sorrow, led to unsettling rumors. Some speculated that Amadio might have deliberately terrified his young subjects to capture their anguish, and whispers even likened him to the devil. One particularly eerie tale centers around a young orphan named Don Bonillo, whom Amadio encountered in Madrid during the 1960s. The boy, mute and sorrowful, had supposedly lost his parents in a fire and was believed to carry a curse. Fires mysteriously broke out wherever he went. Ignoring the warnings of a Catholic priest, Amadio adopted the boy and made him the subject of his Crying Boy series. However, tragedy struck when Amadio's studio and apartment caught fire, destroying everything. Accusing Don Bonillo of causing the blaze, Amadio banished him and never saw the boy again. Years later, Don Bonillo's life ended in flames when his car crashed and exploded on the outskirts of Barcelona. His fiery death only fueled the belief in the curse of the Crying Boy. The curse became infamous in 1985 when a house fire in Rotherham destroyed everything except a Crying Boy print, which was only slightly charred. Similar incidents followed, where homes burned, but the Crying Boy paintings survived unscathed. Panic spread, with some people claiming accidents and misfortune after acquiring the prints. The legend began to take shape in September 1985, when the British tabloid The Sun published a story that sent shivers down the spines of its readers. A house had burned to the ground under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind only ashes and despair. Yet, amid the charred ruins, one thing remained untouched by the flames. A Crying Boy painting, its sorrowful subject eerily unscathed. On September 4, 1985, the Rotherham home of Ron and May Hall had been severely damaged by fire. Almost as shocking for the Halls was the fact that a painting hanging on their wall had been left miraculously intact. The next day's edition included news of a house in Surrey that had burnt down 6 months after the boy was brought into it. All the paintings inside had gone up in smoke, apart from the Crying Boy. A Kilburn woman, her sister-in-law, and a friend had all bought the picture and endured fires soon after. They had even seen one of the prints swing from side to side of its own accord, while hanging on the wall. The firefighting community recounted how they had attended incidents to find the Crying Boy unharmed in the midst of charred and blackened mayhem. As fear gripped the nation, people began to rid themselves of the cursed image. Paintings were destroyed, burned, or even exorcised in desperate attempts to break the curse. The Sun, capitalizing on the terror, organized a mass burning of the paintings, inviting readers to send in their cursed canvases to be consigned to the flames. The Sun's editor Kelvin Mackenzie, credited as the father of the Crying Boy curse, was the one to announce, "Enough is enough, folks. If you are worried about a Crying Boy picture hanging in your home, send it to us immediately. We will destroy it for you, and that should see the back of any curse." Soon, the Bouverie Street office of The Sun was overrun with Crying Boy paintings stacked 12 feet high in the newsroom, spilling out of cupboards, and entirely filling a little-used interview room. Readers had sent in about 2,500 copies of the print in total. Yet, the story does not end there. As the fires of fear burned across the UK, investigators began to probe deeper into the mystery. They discovered that the paintings were mass-produced prints, coated with a varnish that was, in fact, resistant to fire. Could it be that the curse was nothing more than a quirk of chemistry and coincidence? Fire service investigations attributed the house fires to discarded cigarettes, overheated chip pans, and faulty wiring, leading firefighters to conclude that human carelessness was to blame rather than a supernatural curse. Rotherham Fire Station Officer Alan Wilkinson personally recorded 50 incidents where the Crying Boy paintings mysteriously survived the flames. Though Wilkinson was skeptical, he couldn't explain how the paintings emerged unscathed. His wife had a more imaginative theory. "I always say it's the tears that put the fire out." Despite Wilkinson's disbelief, he wasn't immune to superstition. When offered a framed print of the Crying Boy upon his retirement, he politely declined the gift. The widespread panic eventually prompted Chief Divisional Officer Mick Riley of the Yorkshire Fire Service to issue a statement intended to debunk the curse. The reason why this picture has not always been destroyed in the fire is because it is printed on high-density hardboard, which is very difficult to ignite. However, this explanation did little to ease public fear, especially since the paintings often depicted different children, sometimes even by different artists. Despite these explanations, the legend of the Crying Boy refused to die. Even today, the painting retains an aura of unease, its tearful gaze a reminder of the fear it once inspired. Those who own a copy might still glance nervously at it, wondering if the curse is truly gone, or if it simply lies dormant, waiting. The story of the Crying Boy is a testament to the power of belief and the darkness that can grow in the shadowy corners of our minds. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most terrifying things are not the ones we can see or touch, but the ones we can only imagine. So, if you ever find yourself in a room where a child's tear-streaked face watches you from the wall, ask yourself, is it just a painting, or is there something more lurking behind those sorrowful eyes?